study at a call center at the University of Michigan, and this call center was raising money from University of Michigan alumni. So the students work study jobs, calling people saying, hey, can you give $50 to Michigan, raising money. And so this researcher said, I'm going to try to run the call center for a few weeks. And here's what he did. He divided everybody into 3 groups. Everybody was treated exactly the same. They had the same scripts, the same general call list, et cetera. The only thing that was different was the 5 minutes before they got on the phones. So group 1, for the first 5 minutes before you get on the phone, you do whatever you feel like. Okay, you're our control group. Second group, for the 5 minutes before you get on the phone, you read letters, real letters from real people, testifying to the personal benefit of having worked in the call center. My name is Joe Schmatz. I worked at this call center for 1.5 years as an undergraduate. I learned communication skills and negotiation skills and sales skills, and it's very useful to me because I'm now an account executive at an advertising agency in Grand Rapids. Third group also read letters. Again, real letters from real people, just 5 minutes. But these letters were from people on the receiving end of the money that was raised. My name is Fred Smith. I couldn't afford to go to college, but I got a scholarship to Michigan thanks to some of the money raised here, and I'm now a school principal in Saginaw. My name is Maria Lopez. I'm an oncologist at the University of Michigan Hospitals. I do research on breast cancer, some of which is funded by the money raised here. So here's what we got. 5 minutes of reading about purpose, 5 minutes of reading about the personal benefit, and then 5 minutes of playing Angry Birds. Not surprisingly, the purpose group and the personal benefit group outperformed the Angry Birds group. But take a look at this third group over here, the group that spends 5 minutes being reminded of the purpose of what they are doing. They earn more than twice the number of weekly pledges and more than twice the amount of weekly donation money. Now think about that for a second. This is truly an incredibly cheap and effective performance-enhancing drug. Anybody here in sales? All right, so think about this. Think about if you had a consultant coming to your sales force who said, hey, I've got a 5-minute cost-free intervention that can double production. Are you interested? Kinda. And that's what it is. Over and over and over again, you see this. There's an emerging body of research showing that we're leaving purpose as a motivator on the table. We don't take people seriously enough. We think, oh yeah, I'm motivated by purpose, but not these great unwashed who I have to deal with every day. They're not like me. They're not as exalted as I am. When in fact, there's a rich, rich body of evidence and some really young, smart social scientists showing that appealing to a sense of purpose is extraordinarily effective in many circumstances. So what I want to do here is I want to give you one, again, cheap performance-enhancing drug. I'm going to give you a very inexpensive performance-enhancing drug right now. It has to do with what you're seeing on the screen right there. I think too often when we're in management and leadership positions, we tend to go crazy on the idea of how. Here's how you do it. When we're teachers or trainers, here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Here's how you learn. Let me explain how to do it. Oh, no, here's how you have a crucial confrontation. Here's how you have a crucial conversation. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. And we lose sight on why. Why are we doing it in the first place? Why does it even matter? Why is it significant? And my experience over the last 15 years of interviewing people about their work is people are yearning for that sense of why. So my one recommendation to you is next week when you go back to your offices, especially if you have any nominal authority over other people, have 2 fewer conversations about how and 2 more about why. And I think you'll see an uptick in performance. Because the third leg of the stool, once we get past if-then rewards, we got autonomy, we got mastery, the chance to get better at something that matters, but also purpose. People need to know why they're doing things. And when I say purpose, let me offer a more nuanced view of purpose. You can think of purpose as purpose with a capital P and purpose with a small p. Purpose with a capital P is, I'm healing patients. I'm making the world a better place. I'm providing scholarships to poor kids. I'm ending the climate crisis. I'm putting a dent in the universe. I'm doing something significant. And you know what? That's awesome. That's great. That's fantastic. That's a very big motivator. But there's also another motivator that you can think of as purpose with a small p. It's purpose with a small p. And that's just people knowing why they're doing something in the first place. And here's how I came to this. 12 years ago, I wrote a book called Free Agent Nation. It's a book about where I went around the country and I interviewed people who had left large organizations to go work on their own. They said, I can't take working in a large organization. I got to go out on my own. I know a few of you made that decision as well at various points in your career. And I did these long qualitative interviews with people. I'm happy to say just that this book, Free Agent Nation, remains in print even a decade later. It now sells tens of copies every year. But in these interviews, I ended up with these transcripts. Long transcripts of these interviews. And as I was going through these transcripts in my office, I kept seeing the same sentence. And the sentence was this. See if you can fill it in. They said, Dan, you know, another reason I left this large organization is that I felt I wasn't making a... No. See, difference is sort of purpose with a capital P. You know what they said? I felt I wasn't making a contribution. People were working, but they didn't see how it contributed. They didn't see why it mattered. At some level, they said, if I didn't show up, would anybody care? If I didn't show up, would there be an effect in the world? So think about that. Purpose with a capital P and purpose with a small p. Summoning each of those is truly an incredibly effective form of enhancing people's performance. Looking for ways to say, what you're doing makes a difference in the world. What you're doing makes a contribution to me and the people you work with. And last thought I want to leave you with is this. We tend to talk in business about the profit motive. And I just want to say for the record, the profit motive is a very, very good thing. It's a very good thing. I can make a good case that it's a good thing morally. But it's not the only thing. And at a certain point, it's just not enough. And so as you come back out of this kind of exciting environment here, what I want you to think about is that purpose motive, to recognize that all of us have it, that we want to do things that matter, we want to do things that are significant, we want to do things that make a contribution. And the more you can take that and bring it to the surface, the more you're going to see people performing at their very best. And again, I just want to emphasize, it's free. It's free. Thanks.